U.S. late-night hosts rally behind Jimmy Kimmel after suspension sparks free speech row. America's late-night comedians turned their stages into platforms of protest on Thursday night, blasting what they described as an alarming act of censorship after Jimmy Kimmel's show was abruptly pulled from the air. ABC suspended Jimmy Kimmel Live on Wednesday following Kimmel's sharp remarks about the fatal shooting of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The decision reportedly came after several ABC-affiliated stations refused to broadcast his episodes earlier in the week, objecting to his commentary. Kimmel had accused many in MAGA land of exploiting Kirk's murder for political gain, remarks that triggered a swift backlash and, ultimately, his suspension. Colbert leads the charge. Stephen Colbert did not mince words on The Late Show. Opening with a statement of solidarity, his program's Instagram declared, "The Late Show stands with Jimmy Kimmel and his staff." People across the country are shocked by this blatant assault on the freedom of speech, Colbert told viewers. His comments landed with extra weight, as CBS has already announced his show will end next year, citing financial pressures. Notably, the decision came just weeks after Colbert criticized a settlement between Donald Trump and CBS's parent company over a controversial 60 Minutes report. Satire and subversion on The Daily Show. Jon Stewart, returning for a special edition of The Daily Show, leaned heavily into satire. Playing the role of what he called a patriotically obedient host, Stewart mockingly chastised his audience for booing clips of President Trump. In a searing closing monologue, Stewart skewered the administration's motives. Some might argue this administration's speech concerns are a cynical ploy, a smokescreen to obscure an unprecedented consolidation of power, coldly antithetical to a constitutional republic. Some people would say that. Not me though, I think it's great. Meyers and Fallon join in. On NBC's Late Night, Seth Meyers delivered his own biting parody, claiming, "The administration is pursuing a crackdown on free speech." Completely unrelated, I've always admired and respected Mr. Trump. If you've ever seen me say anything negative about him, that was just I. Meanwhile, Jimmy Fallon struck a more heartfelt tone on The Tonight Show. "To be honest with you all, I don't know what's going on, no one does. But I do know Jimmy Kimmel, and he is a decent, funny and loving guy. And I hope he comes back." Fallon then layered humor over sincerity, with a live announcer censoring his Trump jokes mid-monologue for comic effect. Letterman calls out. Managed media. Veteran host David Letterman weighed in from the Atlantic Festival in New York. Calling Kimmel's suspension ridiculous, Letterman warned, "We all see where this is going, correct? It's managed media. It's no good. It's silly. It's ridiculous." He insisted broadcasters should not lose their jobs for refusing to suck up to what he bluntly labeled an authoritarian president. White House pressure and public backlash. The suspension unfolded against a backdrop of escalating rhetoric from Donald Trump, who has suggested certain networks should, maybe, lose their broadcasting licenses due to overwhelmingly negative coverage. Speaking aboard Air Force One, Trump claimed, "I have read someplace that the networks were 97% against me, again, 97% negative, and yet I won all 7 swing states. I would think maybe their license should be taken away." Kimmel, meanwhile, used his own platform before the suspension to argue that MAGA gang voices were desperately trying to distance themselves from Kirk's killer, a young man charged with capital murder who could face the death penalty. Hollywood and SAG-AFTRA weigh in. Celebrities including Ben Stiller and Jamie Lee Curtis quickly expressed solidarity with Kimmel online, emphasizing that free expression must be protected. The Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, SAG-AFTRA, also issued a firm statement. The decision to suspend airing Jimmy Kimmel Live is the type of suppression and retaliation that endangers everyone's freedoms. But the backlash has not silenced regulators. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr told Fox News that the commission would continue to hold broadcasters accountable to the public interest, suggesting stations unhappy with the rules could simply turn their license into the FCC. A nation at a crossroads. Charlie Kirk's assassination, and the fierce fallout surrounding commentary on it, has reignited debates about media freedom, government pressure, and the fragile state of political discourse in America. With comedians, actors, unions, and even legendary broadcasters rallying in Kimmel's defense, the controversy now feels far bigger than one late-night host. As Stewart quipped in his monologue, the question may no longer be whether censorship is creeping in, but whether America is willing to laugh while it happens.